Hi, I'm Kelly Rowlett-Presgrave. I'm president and CEO of Work With Your Hands, and we are so proud to be a sponsor of Power Women of the Trades podcast. You can reach us at workwithyourhands.com. Kelly at workwithyourhands.com is my email.
At Relentless Digital, we believe in breaking barriers and driving innovation. That's why we are extremely proud to sponsor the Power Women of the Trades podcast, supporting the voices and success of women in the home service industry. Together, we're creating a future where talent shines, regardless of gender, and diversity thrives. Join our journey at relentless-digital.com and always be relentless in your pursuit of excellence.
This episode of Power Women of the Trades is also brought to you by Forrest Perry of Forrest Perry Digital Marketing. Want to generate more leads for your service business? Trust his team to deliver quality new customer leads and protect your brand online. Check out perrymarketing.com today.
Chirp, the ultimate automation toolbox for home service businesses. Chirp helps you capture more leads, connect faster, close more deals, and create customers for life. Through text message, email, and ringless voicemail automation, Chirp can help you transform your customer's experience. Learn more in the show notes below.
Hello. So, Josh with Relentless Digital, we're so excited to have you on today. But we were talking about all like the pre-show stuff here. I feel like Leslie and I'm excited for you to be here today because of a couple things. Because first of all, if there was a male version of Cassie, probably Josh.
We're getting right into it. So Josh and I vibe very well together, which is good because if me and Josh have ever had any tiffs, we handle each other well, I feel like. And then, but also, which for the record, we don't really have tiffs, but we communicate because we know how to communicate and speak to each other. I wasn't ready for this.
But
I wanted to start out talking about how Josh and I basically started our businesses around the same time together and really grew it.
Well, I was leading to that. I was leading with the whole Josh and I
Let's lead with positivity today, okay?
Me and Josh are positive vibes. You're going to always know where you stand
Josh,
with us.
are you drinking a green smoothie? What's in your drink? Or is it pre-work?
No, it's Zip Fizz.
What is that, an energy drink?
Yeah.
You should ask Justin from Chirp or Eric Thomas what Zip Fizz is. They have a great story to tell you at AHR 2 years ago.
You can buy them
What is
Sam's
it?
It is like an energy. They come in these little plastic tubes and you put them in. Where's Zip Fizz fans? I forget about it though. I'm going to have to order some Zip Fizz.
It's like coffee. Why you would...
If you ever
like
need one,
caffeinated?
when we're traveling, when you're traveling, Tersh travels with this enormous bag of Zip Fizz. So you can always get your extra little caffeine kick.
I always feel like, what
him.
am I supposed to do with those little plastic cylinders? I feel guilty.
I don't know.
about
Are you
them.
supposed to recycle those?
I don't know, but
sometimes I
there's so many
recycle
of
them. Sometimes they go in the garbage.
I
It
wish
just
y'all could
depends on
show
my
me a
mood for the
picture
day.
of what this looks like.
It looks like it's like a little cylinder, and it's like this big, and it's
Like a shot? Like you're taking a shot of
it's
something?
powder. You mix it in a drink.
Wow.
But I mean, it's good.
So let me tell you a quick story because you said it's like a shot. So Justin at Chirp, we did our first like service business mastery influence part. It was like really random and it was this loft thing and it was fun. At midnight, he decides he's going to do something really stupid. He takes the powder and he puts that in his mouth. No water, no mix. And then he chases it with water. And he was telling me like literally his heart was like,
they call that's a thing with pre-workout. They call it dry something. Not that I am like,
but do
taking
people
pre-workouts
take
on a regular
this for,
basis.
is it a pre-workout or no?
No. And it's got a lot of vitamins
it's more so for energy.
and it has a lot of vitamins too, right?
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't have a ton of caffeine. It's not. It's like probably a can of soda. It's
So
not that much more. It's not like some of these things that are.
Zip Fizz, we are looking for a sponsorship for Power Women
I
of the
know.
Trades
I've learned
podcast
so
and
much.
Service Business Mastery.
Josh, I just know you have some sort of serious structured morning routine.
I am pretty religious about the morning routine.
What time do you get up? Because it's 7:00 your time, 9 hours.
It is. Well, actually, today I got up early because I wanted to take a walk before. Because honestly, like you guys probably see me post about walks and stuff. Like walks are like my mental zen place. Like we get out, Brittany and I get out, and it just clears my mind, and I feel so much better about my day. And if I ever get a day where Cassie's yelling at me or something, I have to take a break, and I'll go and like it just totally pieces me out because otherwise
I feel that deeply. I have to walk in between these sessions because I got to get it out of my body.
Did you actually see the schedule today? I put on the schedule. We're recording like 6 shows today, and on the schedule on paper says a walking break for Leslie.
Yeah,
because she's gonna make me.
I've started getting up in the middle of the night and walking in my neighborhood because like I'm in a real stressful time in my business, and it's like I will wake up and think I got to get out of here. Like I got to walk.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that is exactly like I'll literally start feeling this. It's like bubbling to the surface. I'm like, I got to get out of here. I got to put my music in and I just got to go.
Yep.
Because otherwise I'm going to freak out on somebody.
All psychotic people.
Okay, the other night.
Full of stress and rage.
I want to tell you guys this story though. So the other night it was like 10:30 and everyone was in bed and I was like, I got to get up and I live in a safe neighborhood. I got to go for a walk. So but we back up to kind of like some woods and not everyone has their lights on, maybe not turning on their outside lights. And I was taking a walk down the street to the little cul-de-sac that backs up to the park and into the woods. Well, I walked over there and all of a sudden I saw flashlights in the woods. Scared the crap out of me and I just took off running back home and I was like, I feel like I shouldn't go
I was waiting
anymore.
for there to be a bobcat.
But why were there flashlights?
Doesn't Brad have like a knife or something you can carry with you when you take your
Brad
night walks?
has like all kinds of things. He was asleep and I thought, I didn't tell anybody I was leaving.
Yeah, not good. Can we talk about maybe a treadmill?
I have a treadmill, but it's not the same.
I know, but at 2 a.m.
It is not the same, Leslie.
It's not the same.
I see.
I even have I have the Nordic track where you can walk through all the national parks and like all the things. It's just not the same.
I know.
Josh
I get
knows.
it at nighttime. I get it at daytime.
What do you think was going on in the woods, though? I still don't know.
Suspicious. I don't know. And you do live. I've been to your house. You've been in a safe neighborhood. I just,
Yeah.
I just can't do it.
Yeah.
But I do walk on the treadmill. But I just recently bought a walk pad for the office.
Oh, yeah.
And I have this new thing. So everyone's excited about it. Well, a few, maybe not everyone. First of all, like half my office is pregnant right now. So that's a whole thing. But yeah, Kaylee in the background's like, please no, that,
It's not me.
Yeah. So I'm all about, I've been moving my desk here lately. I feel trapped by my office and I don't feel like, it's funny how we like change in our space of like what we think success is. Like I remember one time just thinking I couldn't wait to have an office, that's stupid. I don't know, but you wanted an office and now I don't want that office. It's like, it's not that I don't want the office, but I feel trapped. I feel like I'm more creative with my team on the floor. I've always liked the open collaboration and that's how our office is. And so I've been like desking, like some days I have to sit in my office because I've got a meeting like all day or something, but I've been just taking my laptop and setting my desk somewhere else, wherever there's an open space. And so now I bought a walking pad with a mobile desk. And so that's going to be everybody's mobile desk. So we're going to start with one. And then if it's like a hot thing and we can get, those walk pads are like $200. But
I just ordered
to
one
where
too.
if you want to like get up and move from your desk, we've always had laptops. We don't do desktops. I mean, that's the thing now, but it's funny because like 6 years ago when I got everyone a laptop and not desktops, they're like, why aren't you buying desktops? I'm like, because it's 2019 back then. But anyway, so now everyone's going to have like a travel space so they can like just move. Cause sometimes we don't need all the things.
You gotta get the blood flowing.
It's hard because you sit all day.
Yes.
Like I have a standing desk and I don't use it as much as I used to, but like I used to just like, I have to get up and I have to stand for a little bit because otherwise you just sit here. But now, honestly, I just, after meetings and stuff, I almost always get up and I walk around for at least like 5 minutes just to get moving because otherwise I can't sit here for 8 hours straight.
And if you
I don't think anybody can.
Well, and if you do, because I've caught myself doing that a couple times last week, been on a lot of meetings. If it is, that's more mentally draining than anything when you don't get up and move. You're more tired at the end of those meetings and feel slightly crazy.
Yep. Yeah. I actually got that from Chris Hunter years ago. He said he just gave his office away and he just desked wherever. And I just pulled that out of nowhere. One day I was like, Chris Hunter said he just did this. And it was like validation for me because everyone's like, why are you leaving your desk? But I just operate better that way.
Yeah.
The first time I heard something like that was Mike Aguilario from Gold Medal, CEO Warrior and stuff like that. He had like a thing that you literally had his laptop. You could just walk around and you like sit in the CSR room or the area where all the CSRs were. He'd go in like these other rooms where his leaders were and stuff. Just so he's always just kind of knowing what was going on, and he felt just better about how he operated that way.
I even looked into, we have our cubicle, the company we buy our cubicles from, and I called her and was like, hey, you know when you go to the doctor's office and they roll in with a cart and it's got a battery backup on it, you know? Because the only thing I'm struggling with is in my office, I have a 34-inch monitor, which if you work at Quality, everybody has a 34-inch monitor. So if I can pop on a desk that is open, I can use that monitor. But if I can't and I'm just sitting down somewhere else, I miss the monitor. So I called the company and was like, you know, when you go into the doctor's office, they roll in with the cart and the computer's working and it's on a battery backup. I'm like, help me make one of those. And so anyways, we'll see. Traveling desk. But so that's why
Who are you going to give your office to?
We're collaborating on it right now. I mean, I still am in there part-time, and then I let them use it for one-on-ones because we don't really have a space for that. They're normally in the storage closet for one-on-ones. Yeah. And then I was like, threw out the idea of making it like the war room, the sales room. I don't know. We're just seeing. The second I give it for good, I'll need it.
Yep.
So I'm not sure if I'm just going to empty it like that or not, but I don't know. It's a different time. But this is why Cassie Pound could never be a work from home person.
Nope.
Couldn't do it.
It's different. There's, it's funny because obviously we're completely remote. Our team is scattered all over the place. And it is one of those things that being from the trades, I was always in the office with the team, had our meetings at the shop, all around the equipment. And now there's times I love it being remote. And there's other times I'm like, because we had our team come in last month, we flew them all in and we did some team building stuff. And I'm like, man, it would be nice, 1 or 2 days a week to have everybody where we could see them and talk to them. Cause there's just different levels of conversation you can get into and get to know them. We did a lot of icebreaker questions, just really get to know you type stuff, because we don't get to do that. Slack is not the same way. You're usually talking about work stuff.
Right.
You don't get to have these deep meaning conversations about what's going on in their life and what drives them and stuff like that. So it's
hard.
There's pros and cons to everything, but it is nice because there's times I'm like, I just want to be left alone. I don't want anyone to bother me, and I want to turn off my notifications. And there's other times I wish I could, get to know them on a deeper level.
How do you like Arizona?
Best move we've ever made.
Really?
Best decision we've ever made. I love it. I mean, it's hot in the summer, and I know everyone's like, well, it's a dry heat. Well, it's still freaking hot. You melt. But
has it been
for
a year?
Me, it's coming up on 2 years
Okay.
in July.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. It's time is absolutely flying.
That is insane that it's almost 2 years. I feel like y'all just left.
I know.
Yeah,
That's
it's.
crazy.
Are you sure, Josh?
It's. I'm positive. It's been great
life
though.
Has been fast.
I mean, we traded. I don't know how many days. Wisconsin was always gray, and you never knew what the weather was. It's not quite the Oklahoma. Not know what the weather is. You guys have it the craziest weather I've ever seen in my life. But it was just we didn't know what to expect. It was gray. Could never plan anything. A lot of bugs. In Arizona, there's hardly any bugs. It's sunny 320 days a year or whatever. It's just
the sun
just makes life
make
so much
me
better.
a better human being.
Yes, it does.
Makes me a better human.
Oh, my mood since I moved here is just so much better because you get those gray days. In Wisconsin, in the winter, it would be that way for weeks. You would not see the sun for weeks in the winter, and it was just the seasonal depression is very
sometimes
real.
In Oklahoma it's the same way, and then when we get the sun I'm like, oh,
it's like everything feels better.
And my daughter, she's the same way. The other it's been kind of gray, and then it was raining, and then in my office I have one window, and so that's what the office is currently now too. When she gets out of school, she now thinks that's her space, and I went in there yesterday and it was sunny, and she had opened the blinds and was sitting in the window.
Well, because
and
it
she
was
just
winter
likes
again
that.
all of a sudden for 2 days.
And it was it still was cold
we had to
yesterday, but that
freeze.
sun, and so she wants she needs that on her face, and it's sun just it's a thing. I am a better person. I love the warmth. I could be definitely the type that I think my dream would be to move to a beach,
Really?
Yeah, we went on spring break to Branson, which if you've never been to Branson, it's a whole experience. It's really like the Dolly World type thing. But
did you go to Top of the Rock?
Not this time because it was too cold. But we went to Branson and we got there and Oscar said, this would be great if it was on the beach.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, that's who we are. We're just like not cold, but our friends are wanting to go skiing, and it's like we might do that once for the experience, but it's just not my vibe. Take me to the warmth. But
100%. Give me the sun. Give me some activity. Give me some fun stuff to do.
Okay, we got to go back to Relentless for a second. So Leslie, I know, was talking about how you guys started. So I got introduced to Josh from Leslie, and we use Relentless at Quality. And then, but I think you were saying that maybe you guys started in business at the same time?
Well, I always think of like when I look back at the trajectory of our business and when I made some really big decisions on my marketing strategy, gosh, 4 years ago. I don't remember. But it was like when I signed up with you, and I also did Jen right at the same time. And so it's just been like fun to see, because when we worked together, you were still working at your main gig at the time. What was it? I can't remember.
Professional services.
You were a service manager, weren't you? Or you were?
So that place, I was more in charge. I was director of marketing and operations. So I did
a lot of
mostly
stuff.
just that. I didn't have to go into the field. I didn't have to help the guys.
Okay.
I didn't have to run around and do some of the things I used to do.
Well, and I remember I was like, man, because I had interviewed probably like, I knew I was making a switch, so I interviewed you and a few others that I won't mention. And I remember talking to Brent, and I was like, I really want to sign up with Josh, but he's still got this like full-time job, and I can tell he's going to have to make a decision soon. And I remember asking you that, and you had said, I said, my concern is like you're working this full-time job, and what happens when you get so many clients, and you're like, well, I'm probably going to have to make a decision soon. And I swear it probably wasn't like 2 months later. It was so soon, and you just like took a leap of faith and went all in on Relentless.
Yeah, it was one of those things because Brittany was working at a different HVAC company in sales. And with salaries and just, you know how it is with stuff like that with big moves, you gotta make sure that stuff's taken care of and we can pay for everything. Yeah. And for me, I've always wanted to own, I always thought I was eventually going to own an HVAC company. Yeah. And that's what I was actually trying to do at professional, was trying to like buy my way in and stuff like that, because I love the trades. And I honestly, I would, given the opportunity, maybe there's some days I don't want to partake in some time periods, but I always enjoyed the people and I enjoyed the atmosphere. I enjoyed the fact that every day was unique because it wasn't the same. I came from, before the trades, believe it or not, I was in accounting because I always loved numbers and statistics and data and stuff like that.
That is shocking.
But I hated the monotony of accounting. It was so boring.
Right.
So I got hired as an accountant at a local HVAC company. I was not even really a full-fledged accountant. I wasn't like a great bookkeeper or CPA, anything like that. He needed someone to help with the numbers. I eventually, within 6 weeks, started running the office and doing things like that. And it was quite the experience. We owed hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. I didn't know this until much later. This is why he needed an accountant to try to figure this out. But I learned a lot of really valuable lessons about organic growth because we had no money. Our credit for our suppliers was the time it took for me to hand them a check and them to clear the bank.
Wow.
So we had to collect right away. We had to do all these things, which are great business practices, but I didn't know any better. I just we have to collect today. I can't wait because then I'm not going to be able to pay the guys.
Right.
And I remember a lot of Fridays that first year and a half where I would have to pick up trucks after a guy cashed their paycheck because they were quitting because it was just a mess.
Yeah.
Right.
But coming back to, Relentless and stuff, a lot of this stuff has, your experiences all accumulate to something. And we kind of forget about that along the way. And to the point, it's like we really realized we learned a lot throughout all these trials and tribulations and stuff that we have. But I had wanted to make the move earlier to move to Relentless, but it was one of those things I wanted to make sure Brittany was on board, because if you have someone that wants to do something in the house and someone that's against it, then you have this
problem.
You're gonna have it's gonna carry over into other conversations and other things like that. But she's been my number one fan for as long as I've known her, and she's been absolutely fantastic. And she's worked with me. Honestly, she was a hairdresser for 10 years, and I wanted to bring her into HVAC because I knew the type of person she would do exceptional at sales. And I begged my boss at the time, and things, we get into like male women stuff in the trades. Like he he finally let me bring her into the trades and do sales, but only at 4% commission, which at the time I'm like, okay, I get it. She has not been in the trades. I'll train her, I'll get her up, and then we'll eventually get to that point. Of course, it never really got to that point. So we had some falling out there, but, she's been, having that where we work together. I know obviously, Cassie, you and Oscar, you and Brent, Leslie, you guys all work together. Like there's such a dynamic there. You have to have a strong relationship to make it work. I've seen clients of ours who they've gotten divorced or split because of it's just, they can't manage that relationship and the business, and they can't separate
it's tough. It's so hard.
It's extremely tough.
You have to find out what works for you, because like people ask, that's probably, besides what is it like to be a woman in the trades?
Yeah.
The number 2 question is, what is it like to be married to your business partner? Basically,
I always say we need our own support group.
We do, but there's no secret to it. What works for Cassie and Oscar will not work for Leslie and Brent, and we know that for a fact.
Yeah,
because we definitely, when we kind of bounce things off of each other, my advice to Leslie, she's like, Cassie, and I'm like, yeah, you're right, and I couldn't take the same back from her, because in our marriage, that's not how we operate, and neither one of them are wrong. And so when people ask for that advice all the time, I'm just like, bro, here's the deal. I'm going to give you what works for us. We talked to someone one time that said, in our house, we don't talk about the business, and especially in our bedroom, that's our space. I get that. Okay. Last night, Oscar and I were going to bed, and I rolled over and I was like, hey, so I forgot to tell you this today. That's how we communicate. And that's good for us, because we don't have the rules that would limit each other, right? Like if he goes out on the tractor and he's working, and then he's out there gazing at the sunset, and he'll send me this pretty picture, and then call me, stop the tractor, turn it off, call me to tell me something that now he thought about. But that's how we operate. But when we tried to say at 5 it ends, talk to me tomorrow about it, we were an absolute shit show. But some people need to do it that way.
We go through different phases where it's like, we don't need to be talking about work right now.
Yeah.
And then other nights it's like, we can talk about it. It's like a day-to-day game time decision.
Strategy. But you have to, like Josh, what you said, it has to be a partner who's willing to see the highs and the lows, because contrary to what Facebook says, there are way more lows than highs sometimes, and you have to have that person that can weather that storm with you, because
100%.
Amen.
Yeah. I'm smiling so much when you say this, because I am even where we've grown now. I still take when clients leave personally, and it's not personal. I know it's not personal. Like I'm smart enough I know it's not personal. But I take it personally, and it's like, because it's the work, because a lot of the systems, processes, the stuff we've tried, all this stuff has come from me, and a lot of work and a lot of hours of investigating and studying and all this stuff. And Brittany's the level-headed one, where she's just calm. I'm this one. Like I can be up and I can be down and all over the place.
Josh,
and
me too.
I feel like in a relationship where you work, you need someone that balances you well. Like if you're up and down, you need someone that's calm, or vice versa. You need someone that's you're kind of your opposite in some regards. And then sometimes when, they can get excited when you're excited, and they can kind of take you from a low and bring you back up and just make you realize it's not the end of the world. Tomorrow the sun will rise again, and we'll be fine.
I love Brittany. I wish we got to have her on.
I know.
She's way more of a fun interview too.
One of the best things about I can't remember. I do remember what sparked the conversation. PTSD, trauma. Not going to bring it all up, but she had commented, and she had said, "I have some strong feelings on this, but basically we don't give a dang what other people think about us." And I'm like, "Yes, we do." And she's like, "No, we don't." And she's like, "This is why." And so we ended up talking, I think, in messages, but she's basically like, we're not giving people control over our emotions and our feelings. And she's probably telling me the same thing she tells Josh. But she was like, I seriously took a lot of that conversation to heart, because I'm the same way. We have this, however many people working for us now. And it used to be when people would quit the company, it was a big falling out, because it went personal.
It doesn't matter when someone leaves you. It feels like rejection.
Yeah.
It just does.
And Leslie, bestie over here, love her because she's done way more self-care as far as counseling and stuff goes than I have. So she counsels me all the time. And she's like, why did you feel that way? And I'm like, well, probably from my abandonment issues. And she's like, yes. And, we work through that. But at the end of the day, I have always taken them personal. And there still are a few that have left in the past year or so that ultimately it was personal. But there was a lot of history there, right? Now I have to just look at like, it's okay. And so I say this all the time that especially one of our employees here recently, one of our managers, she said, I ran into so-and-so at the store and they were talking about quality. And he said, oh yeah. And he had some stuff to say. And she said, I stopped him and said, no, quality is not the company you worked for. The company that is now, you wouldn't even recognize. But we've had all this growth. And so we have to give ourselves, because like you said, like you put all that effort, you built all your processes, you built all those things. And so when someone's like, bye, you immediately are like, they hate me.
Yeah.
And it's not.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
It's like you go
personal.
back to your teenage self when you're in high school and you get rejected when you ask someone for a date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the rejection wound. It's like abandonment or rejection wound. Like we could probably all trace everything we feel back to those wounds we operate out of as a child. And I think, Josh, I am like 100% the same way. We had someone leave recently that had been with us for years. And the way that they leave is like in the night. They don't even say anything to Brent or I. They'll text the manager, and I feel the same way that you feel.
It hurts. It's painful.
Hurts, yeah.
It's like it sucks.
And you're like, what did I do? I did everything I could do.
Or
and
you think about all the things.
It just doesn't work.
It doesn't work. But it's natural for us because we're like, but you start like keeping score of everything that you did for that person, or you did here, or that Bob, yada, 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 yada. Because that's natural. We're like human nature to keep score, but they have a different score. They have a different list. And sometimes the list is just like, okay, but we overcame that. Okay. And so it's like sometimes, not all, sometimes it's just a better opportunity. We had one recently that left, and I know that there was a case made against us that wasn't accurate, but it was so they felt validation in their decision, right? Instead of just going back and saying, this is just my decision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Look at us getting deep in the morning here.
I know. It's way too early for all this deepness.
I need a Zip Fizz.
Zip Fizz. We're like, look at us. We're like, so speaking from trauma.
Let's get back to what Relentless does specifically.
Yeah, because we want to make sure we talk
Leslie,
about
you were starting to talk about like how the company started. I don't know where I took that. That was... And this is me. This is who I am. I just drive all over. Like I just...
Same.
Sometimes Tersh and I are very similar. And for those who don't know, Tersh and I have Service Business Mastery podcast, but we'll get on a Zoom or like a StreamYard or a Zoom call, and we're like, oh, we got to talk about this thing, and it takes us like an hour to get to the thing.
You take a lot of detours.
Well, me and Kaylee drive here, to when we record, and it was like it's an hour and 40-minute drive to get here or something like that. And I started in one conversation. I got to the point, I noticed Kaylee kept going, yep. And she was listening. She was engaged. But I talked the whole time. I think she was probably like,
had a lot
Cassie,
on your mind today.
No way.
I know.
No way.
I think, because sometimes y'all see that of me, right, of talking a lot. But Kaylee can tell you, sometimes I'm shut down because I'm too if I've got to get stuff done, I have to shut down, and I can't. But today it was just like, we haven't got to drive to Oklahoma City, so I had like so many things to talk to Kaylee about, and she was listening. It was like anyways,
this has been Power Women of the Trades. Like what you hear so far? Leave us a review in Apple, and make sure to listen to our other episodes wherever you enjoy listening to your podcasts. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next.